All right, I want you to picture this. You've got your gear set aside, you're ready to go for a weekend away. If you're like me, the back seat is where it gets organized. You take out your Tetris skills and you put it all together. It's organized, ready to go. Now fast forward a couple of days into your trip and you've actually had to pull some of your stuff out of your Tetris pile. Now your organized gear is just a pile of stuff. This is where the KARGA comes in. It puts the pieces back together and keeps your gear organized through the entirety of your trip. So what is a KARGA? The KARGA is a modular storage system designed by 63 Industries. It is made to optimize space inside of your truck or SUV. It can be easily installed into the back seat or the cargo area of a vehicle, and it comes in several different models to organize your gear, whether it be tools, camera equipment, camping gear, you name it. So who is 63 Industries? They're a small mom and pop shop operating out of Idaho. I met Tosh, Jess, and Maeve at the Teton Overland Show a couple of years ago. And at the time, they were making truck bed organizing tools. They have a propane tank and different drop-down bars that could add, like, for shovels, axes, things like that. It was really cool organization, and we hit it off, and I've been using that stuff from them for a few years now. Fast forward, and Tosh came up with the idea of the KARGA. 63 Industries reached out to me when they first were coming out with the KARGA and asked if I'd be interested in trying it out and giving some honest reviews. Of course, I said yes, and I decided to go with the over-the-seat double-level model. So the reason I went with the double level is because the majority of the time when I have my gear stacked in the back seat, there's something that I need in the middle or at the bottom. It completely messes the stack up, and I can't put it back exactly where it needs to go. That's the beautiful thing about the KARGA having the two levels, is that in the center I can pull something out, but at the top all my storage is retained. So the way I have my KARGA currently set up is that I have my Morphlate compressor, air hose, and the Morphlate air hub in the bottom shelf. And then on the top shelf, I have my Goal Zero currently, which is plugged into my IceCo fridge on the other side, as well as a little extra toolkit that's easy to access, and a table. The nice thing is that 63 Industries has a couple of different ways to keep things inside of the KARGA, which is like on the top that you can see here is the netting system, as well as the walls on the side that can insert or be taken out depending on what you're trying to store. So the added benefit to the KARGA system is that it's not just the two shelves that you gain for organizing, but this back kind of pocket area that I've utilized for spare blankets, sweatshirts, and right now like my Hess pillows. What makes that possible is the addition of the walls that I spoke about earlier, the accessory that you can add into there. So it makes a nice pocket that holds it, but it also keeps like the air hub completely separate, but this wall is here so it keeps the blankets inside, and I can easily just put it back in. So the other pocket that gets created by the KARGA is down here at the footwell. Now you might be thinking that pocket already exists, but when you're using the KARGA, it actually makes it easier that I can actually pull something out of here, like my tool roll, and put it back in without disturbing any of the other stuff that I keep in my back seat. Whereas before, if I had my compressor down here, usually there was stuff piled on top of it. If I needed to take my compressor out, all of that stuff fell down into that pocket. So really with the KARGA, you get the two shelves, the back kind of pouch, I would call it, and then this bottom shelf where I would call the basement. Okay, let's talk about some pros and cons of the KARGA now that we've gone over some of the details. So the obvious first pro is going to be that it adds additional storage. For me, having the two shelves is really instrumental on how I utilize my gear, and it just makes things so much easier being able to take things out and put them back in where they actually belong. At the end of my trip, my stuff is still organized. Another pro of the KARGA is the models that they have. They've got the single level, they've got the double level, they have over the seat, seat delete. They even have a cargo setter where it's four-legged instead of two-legged. With the variety of models that they do have, they should have an option that'll work for you. Whether you have a Silverado or a Tacoma, mid-size, full-size, it doesn't matter. In addition to that, if there isn't a size that works for you, you can always email 63 Industries and let them know that there's a vehicle that you want this built for. If you want a custom height for your KARGA, you can even email them and they can potentially cut you legs that would work for your vehicle or your custom fitting. Another pro of the KARGA is going to be its strength. Each shelf can hold 75 pounds of weight, equaling 150 total. I wouldn't stretch that by any means, but I don't think I have any gear that's specifically going to go in there that's going to break that weight barrier. However, if you're a tradesman and you have a box of tools that you're putting on the KARGA, you can have ease of mind knowing that it's strong enough to handle the weight. The last pro for me is going to be the ease of taking the KARGA out of the truck so that I can utilize the back seat. Recently, they came out with a new attachment called the pork chop, and it's a quick release attached to the anchor system. If you didn't know, the KARGA anchors to your child seat anchors inside of your seat, and their former version of it was a little bit more intensive to actually pop out and take the KARGA out of the back seat. Now with the pork chop, it's as easy as flipping a lever that releases the lock on it, and the KARGA pops out, and then you just pivot it out of the truck. You can easily take it out in less than a minute. And now let's talk about the cons. Now, I know I've already established that I have a relationship with 63 Industries, but there's not a lot of cons about the KARGA that I've really been able to find. I was a little apprehensive about the idea of the KARGA system when they first told me about it. I was like, I don't really know if that's going to come in handy, but the more I think about it and the more I've used it, if you were to do a seat delete in a Toyota Tacoma, you're talking about at least $500 plus just to delete the driver's side of the back seat. Some systems are $thousands, and all you're getting is a flat surface. With the KARGA, you're able, especially the over-the-seat version that I have, so you're able to retain your seat if you need it. You're able to get 2 levels of storage, which makes things just so much easier, and it's $400. Now, that could be a con for some people when they hear the price. The single level is $199, and the double level is $399. When I first saw the pricing, I thought it was kind of extreme, to be perfectly honest, but the build quality and the engineering that Tasha's put into this is really next level. It is stronger than something that you can make at home, and ultimately it's going to be better than something that you can make at home. But I do understand that $400 price point can kind of set some people away. But if you're looking for something that is a seat delete, but saves you a ton of money and it kind of gives you a little bit more options, I think the KARGA at $200 is a steal of a deal. Now, I said that we're going to talk about cons, and I ended up turning the con into a pro. But it's kind of one of those things where it's one of those products that I can really stand behind. I truthfully believe that pretty much anyone, it's not camping specific, can get something out of the KARGA. I've seen them in law enforcement vehicles. I've seen them in tradesman vehicles, camping. I've seen a wedding cake used on one. Whenever you need a flat surface in your back seat or you want to save money on a seat delete, I think the KARGA is a great product for you. So I'll have the KARGA link down below, obviously, if you're interested in checking it out and all the accessories that I use. I'll also list specifically what I have and how I have it. It's not an affiliate link. I actually don't get anything if you go and purchase a KARGA from the link. So just know that I'm not being paid for the review, even though they sent it to me, and it's an honest review. If you like the video, please consider subscribing. I'm just starting to make new videos on YouTube about my gear, my truck, and maybe even my adventures here pretty soon. We'll see what happens. And always remember that it doesn't matter if you have all the gear. If you don't go out and use it, it's completely pointless. So get out there and actually use it.